What's up, everyone? Eli here, back for another CD collection video. Picking up just kind of loosely where we left off last time. I know I don't always play music in my videos, but I think I decided I'm just never going to play music again. I noticed that like half the time I play something in one of my videos, I get a copyright strike. I don't know, it's fucking dumb, but yeah, not worth the trouble if you ask me. So today, all 10 CDs that I'm going to be showing, all coincidentally, are just from the same band. It's not everything I own from this band, but it is like half, something like that. But anyway, we're going to be talking about U.S. black death metal band Gravewurm. Gravewurm are a band that I've stated before. Well, I think I showed a couple Gravewurm albums in my last CD collection video. But yeah. I'm friends with Funeral from the band. He's a good guy. So it's just kind of a band that means a lot to me. I guess you could say, goes a little deeper than me just being a fan. But yeah, so we're going to start with a lot of these are kind of he puts out he writes everything and records, and these days records it all by himself, so that he's pretty prolific when he wants to be. So he's got kind of like Nunslaughter. He's got a lot of releases, often 2 or 3 releases a year. So a lot of these albums I'm going to show are just a year apart from each other, but not all of them. We're going to start in 2009 with Funeral Empire, one of my personal favorite Gravewurm albums. This came out on Time Before Time Records in. Really cool label. I think they're defunct, but it was a cool label out of Poland, distributed by Obliteration Records, which I believe is a Japanese label. But yeah, 2009. Some of my favorite Gravewurm material is on this album. By the way, I know it's not the coolest background or and all that, but I feel like my videos here in the laundry room definitely turn out better. The lighting is just so much better in here than it is at, in my bedroom or most places in my house. So I don't know. I guess I'm not going to do all my videos in here, but they work out pretty well. All right, next we got this is a split from 2009, same year, split called Grim Horizons. It's split with a death metal band called Wintress. I guess you could call it maybe like a doom death band. Wintress was another U.S. One-man band, and the guy played in Gravewurm for some time. I can't remember if he plays bass or drums, but he's a long-time Gravewurm collaborator. He doesn't have a lot of material under the Wintress name, actually. I think he's got this split with Gravewurm, and I think like maybe a demo or something like that, despite being around since I think like the 90s. Self-released. Yeah, just self-released by Gravewurm. I haven't spent a lot of time with this. Yeah, I've had it for a while, but I think I've only ever listened to it once, so I'm not going to rant about it or anything. Then, 2010, we have one of my other personal favorites. This actually might be my favorite Gravewurm album, Black Fire. Yeah, this one's really good. Time Before Time, again, like I said, Time Before Time was a really cool label. Yeah, I guess we're basically starting in 2009 and working our way up. But, yeah, man, really good album. In my opinion, there's some black. Gravewurm has always been a band with a lot of black metal influences, but I feel like there are some tracks on here where the black metal influences come through a little bit more focused, a little stronger, just a little more black metal sounding, and just some really, really cool, well-written black metal songs on here. Always been one of my favorites, and like I said, maybe even my favorite. Jumping up a couple of years now, because I don't have everything that Gravewurm has done, unfortunately. This is another one of my favorites. 2013, released by Hell's Headbangers, we have Infernal Minions. So Cam Lee of Death and Massacre did the artwork. He did that cover, which is very cool. He's a good artist, and he did the back. I actually have a shirt with this artwork on it, all the monsters, and there's even more of them you can see on the shirt. But yeah, really cool album. I like this one a lot. This one featured, very cool, huh? Cam did all that art. This one featured Tony Black on drums. Tony Black from Druid Lord, cool band. And Blood, the sometimes bass player for Gravewurm, did other than bass, he played. He did some keyboard work on here, adding some cool, black metal-ish sounding keyboards, which give the album a really, really nice touch. Really, really like that one. Then going into 2014, next year, we have a split called Spawn of the Sacrilege, Gravewurm, and a band called Arduous Task. Arduous Task were a death metal band, younger death metal band. I don't think they have a lot of material under their belts. They're not really a band that I follow necessarily. So I don't know what they've been up to lately, if anything. But this came out on Horror, Pain, Gore, Death, label out of Philly, right? Yeah, label out of Philly, known for putting out a lot of death metal stuff. I've had this a couple years. I really haven't spent much time with it either, so I won't say too much about it. And same year, 2014, we have self-released Abyss Sorcery. More Cam Lee artwork, very cool. There is actually a patch with this exact artwork on it. I have it. It's awesome. Very much reminds me of Lady Death. If you're a comic fan, you might know who Lady Death is, which is very, very cool. Killer artwork from Cam Lee, like I said. Yeah, self-released, this one. This one's a nice, kind of a nice album that sits next to Infernal Minions. It doesn't have the keyboards that Infernal Minions has, but the songwriting is similar and, coming out only a year apart. I'd say I prefer Infernal Minions a little bit more just because of Tony Black's drumming and the keyboard work from Blood was a really cool touch, because Gravewurm doesn't always have use of keyboards on the album, so having that in there was a very cool and welcome touch. I've always been a fan of symphonic black metal and just keyboard work in general, so when it's done right, I'm all for it. Going up to 2015, we have Doomed to Eternity. This one was also released by Hell's Headbangers Records, and this album, at least in my opinion, is kind of known for Jim Kanya of Nunslaughter. This is, I believe, the last full-length album he would play on. So it's kind of a special album in that matter. It's also some of Gravewurm's most cohesive songwriting. It's just a really good album. It was received pretty well, by critics and fans, and just a really good album. There's a little bit of some tribute to Jim there. R.I.P. Jim Kanya. So yeah, very nice to hear Jim on a Gravewurm album. This isn't the only Gravewurm stuff he plays on, but it is the only full length that he plays on for Gravewurm. So, like I said, this one was kind of a fan favorite, and even it was received pretty well critically. It's quite a strong album. Going up into 2016, we have Into the Dungeon. Self-released again on the Funeral Empire Records label, which is just a label that Funeral Grave uses to release his own music. More Cam Lee artwork, by the way. I know when this one came out, a lot of fans were kind of giving some kind of negative feedback about the cover art. They're saying it's cheesy and they didn't like it. And I was kind of on the fence at first, but it's really grown on me. I think it's really cool. I mean, it fits the band, it fits the music. I think it's cool. I'll show the back. Yeah, and Cam Lee's a killer artist. I hope he does more stuff for Gravewurm in the future. Good album. My personal opinion, not as good as the last few. If you've heard Gravewurm, you know it's not a band that progresses a lot. That has never been something that's never been the point of Gravewurm. You know, it's not about progressing and, you know, becoming a better musician or better songwriter. It's about playing primitive, ugly, nasty, old school black death metal, just the way that it is. But still. So I mean, if you've listened to a lot of Gravewurm, you know there's definitely a formula that they use. Not to say that every album does kind of have its own sound, but it's within, it's definitely within the box. And I just don't feel like Into the Dungeon was as good as, probably the last couple albums. Still very much worth listening to and very much worth buying. This next one came out in 2017, and I believe this was maybe a couple steps up from Into the Dungeon as far as quality goes. We got the Shadowlands. This one was a little bit more experimental. Experimental is maybe a strong word to use when you're talking about Gravewurm's music, but there were just a lot of touches on here, like samples and stuff that just kind of gave this album a lot of character. And again, this one was received really well by fans, and anyone that I saw that wrote a review of it, pretty favorable reviews. So Digipack, he doesn't usually do digipacks. Actually, I think this is the only digipack album I have from Gravewurm, which is fine by me. I don't like digipacks, but I'll get my music whatever way I can get it, of course. And last but not least, we have from 2018, we have Ancient Darkness Arise. I've had this one for maybe a year or two, and I have not spent a lot of time with it, so can't say too much about it. But Mark Riddick cover art there. This was just released just this way, just in a plastic sleeve with inserts and everything, front and back inserts. I guess you could put that in a jewel case if you wanted to. I just kind of left it how it is, but that's all I got. I still have a couple Gravewurm albums to show, and I guess I could have banged them out in this video, but I usually just stick to the 10 releases. The next video will probably start with the last few Gravewurm albums that I have on CD, and we'll go from there. I have a pretty nice handful of new things to show you in the next new stuff video. I've probably been spending a little bit more money lately than I should. That said, not a ton, but got some cool stuff to show. I've been on this big prog kick lately, so some more prog stuff and some more metal, and a bunch of more movies that I'll be excited to talk about. So, anyways, look forward to a new stuff video probably within the next 3 to 6 days. Anyways, talk to me, any Gravewurm fans out there. Do you like them? Do you hate them? Gravewurm have always been a band that has been pretty polarizing. And Funeral Grave is well aware of that. He doesn't care. He doesn't care, if people don't get his music or if they don't like it for that matter. Pretty polarizing band. Some people just don't get it. But a lot of criticism that has been thrown at Gravewurm, I feel like it's kind of unfair. One of the most common things I've seen is why this band has been around for over 25 years or whatever. Why have they not progressed? Well, that's pretty simple. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to progress. He's not trying to be a better musician. He's not trying to, he just wants to write good albums that he likes, and that's good enough for me. And it's a band that I enjoy listening to, and I like the guy a lot as a person. He's a quality human, and that's my take. So go ahead and share yours. If you are a Gravewurm fan, which albums do you like the most? Which ones do you like the least? Whatever. Talk to me about stuff. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, guys. Louis says hello. He's down here. Cheers, and we will talk soon.